everyone, I'm back with an update and I'm sorry for my absence. I would like to thank you all for all of your lovely prayers and comments you left on my last video. Mittens unfortunately passed away a week ago. We had to put her to sleep and it was incredibly hard, and I haven't felt like updating or filming a video until now. It's just been really different, and we've felt her absence in the house and we're feeling her loss, and it's been really difficult. The day we had to put her to sleep was very out of the blue. We weren't really expecting to do it so quickly. I think she was doing so well since we brought her home. We had her home with us for 2 weeks after we brought her home from the hospital, and they were wonderful 2 weeks. We had some beautiful moments with her and she was very happy and purring and back to her normal self. Even right up to the last day, she was still eating and, playing outside and purring. It was really all of a sudden, basically the issue was she couldn't go to the toilet and it was causing her so much pain. She was crying out in pain. I bought her the day we noticed it, I bought her some cat laxative to hope that, in hopes that that would help her, but 24 hours went by and she was still in excruciating pain each time she tried to go, and she was miserable. I contacted the vet who operated on Mittens and has been amazing throughout the last few weeks, and she said that we could bring her into the hospital and she could get ultrasounds and x-rays done. We just didn't want to put her through that again, cause her that extra stress, taking her back to the hospital that she hates and she was so happy to see the back of. We didn't want to put her through that, so we thought we'd see how she goes overnight after giving her the laxative and hope that she improves. Because we didn't get the ultrasounds or x-rays done, we didn't know what was causing it, whether it was constipation or a cancer blocking the way. We just didn't know what it was. But what we did know was that she was in discomfort and not happy. Even though she was still eating and doing things that brought her joy, she wasn't in a good way, and we hated to see her so uncomfortable. Originally we thought we'd see how she went overnight, but then we were worried that something might happen overnight and something might rupture, causing her even more pain, and we didn't want her to be in the discomfort that she was in. So originally we were thinking we'd wait to see how she went, and even the thought of potentially having to put her to sleep the next day just broke us completely. I don't think we were expecting to have to make that decision so quickly. We knew it was coming in the matter of, weeks, but I don't think we were, I don't know, you're never going to be ready to make that kind of decision. But then we, thought more, and we didn't want to put her through that overnight. And so it was 7:45 at night time. I called the vet, and while I was on the phone to the vet, Mittens tried to go to the toilet again and she threw up while she was trying, and Tim was in there with her crying, just seeing her in this amount of pain and seeing her sick. It's always awful to seeing your someone you love suffering. And so the first thing the nurse said to me on the phone was, oh, there's going to be a late fee because it's after hours. We close at 8. she was lacking compassion, and she said to put her to sleep is going to cost $70 and the after hours fee is $120 or whatever it was. That was our last concern, the cost of things, but to think that, you know, we lived 5 minutes away, we arrived there before 8 o'clock, to think that they were going to actually charge us, that made me feel furious. And it also rushed the situation, you know. It was 7:45 and all of a sudden we had to make this, we made the decision to put her to sleep that night, and it felt very rushed. And we tried not to rush because, I mean, selfishly I would have loved to have another night with her, but we had to do what was best for her at the end of the day, and we took her down to the vet. We got a really lovely vet, so we were lucky in that regard, because our local vet, we haven't had much luck with them. We haven't had very good experiences with them, so we were lucky and grateful to have gotten an empathetic person. I didn't think I was going to cry, sorry. There are people losing their babies. Side note, before I go into what happened once we took her to the vet, I heard from one of you via email a couple of days ago. We've been in communication for a few months now, and she's been pregnant for the second time after her loss. She lost her little boy at, I think it was 22 weeks. She was 22 weeks along, and she went into preterm labour and lost her little boy, and she's been pregnant again. And I've been keeping her in my thoughts. When I lost our little turtle, the nickname we had for my last pregnancy, called our baby the little turtle because my HCG was slow rising. She sent me, after that miscarriage, she sent me a beautiful little turtle necklace, which was so sweet. But she emailed me a couple of days ago, and I was just completely heartbroken to read her email. She, same thing happened again. She lost her little girl, went into preterm labour, had 15 days with her, and my heart completely breaks for her and her husband to have to deal with that grief and loss again. It just tears you apart, and I can't even imagine how they're coping and what they're going through. But the fact that she found the strength, her little girl passed away on the 29th of January, and the fact that she found the strength to even email me to let me know, she's a stronger woman than I am, because I'm a, emotional wreck, losing my fur baby, but I couldn't even begin to imagine going through what they're going through. So I just want to, if you're watching, give you all of my love and know that you're in our thoughts. I don't want to come across as being insensitive to women who are actually going through unimaginable grief and loss. I think for Tim and I, and for a lot of couples going through infertility, your fur babies become like your children. They get you through all of those hard times, and they become so important to you after all of your disappointments and losses, and I don't know, they're reliant on you and they give you love and you love them back, and that bond is strong, and it's hard to say goodbye. Grief is grief and loss is loss. But my heart just goes out to those of you who have to give birth to your child and know that you have to say goodbye so soon. It's just unimaginable, and any type of loss is hard, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm belittling, you know, a loss, an early losses, because I've had 6 of them, and it's the most heartbreaking thing. I couldn't comprehend having a later loss in my pregnancy. That would just tear me apart. And you know, losing an animal, and they do become a part of your family, and it is heartbreaking. I just didn't want to come across as being poor me, when I know there's a lot of you going through a lot of heartache as well. And we took her to the vet, and the injection, I've never had to put down an animal before, so I didn't really know what to expect. The vet started to inject her, and it happened a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. I thought it might be, you know, take a minute for her to slowly pass, but it happened very, very quickly. Tim and I were holding her, and we both saw the life leave her eyes. I'm sorry. I might not upload this because maybe I need more time so I can actually tell this story without crying. I think that moment really was quite traumatic to see. It was so sudden. We not only saw the life leave her eyes, but we felt her stop breathing. We wouldn't have it any other way. We wanted to be there with her, and we stayed there with her for a good 10 minutes. And we brought her home, and by this stage it was pretty much dark outside. Tim was digging the hole in the garden, and I was inside with Mittens stroking her. She was still warm. We didn't want to bury her until she was no longer warm. And we showed Cooper Mittens because we wanted him to know what had happened. It's hard to know how much he takes in or how much he realises or understands, but we let him have a look at her. He didn't seem very distraught. As soon as he had a look at her, he went over to have some food and started eating. So it's so hard to know how much they're actually, I think now he's missing her, as we all are. It doesn't feel right. She's been around, you know, since Cooper was 5 weeks old. We brought him home and she was there. So all of his life she's been there, and she's no longer around. So he must be feeling her absence and missing her. He's always playing with her and pouncing on her and chasing her up and down the house. So I think he is feeling lonely, and that breaks my heart to know that he's lonely when we're at work. You know, we just miss her. 8 years we had with her, and she was a very affectionate cat. So yeah, it's just been sad. Before we buried her, we had her on the lounge room floor, lying on a blanket, and we thanked her for everything she had given us, and just told her how much we loved her, and we'll continue to love her. I'm so not going to upload this. I can't. My voice is breaking every 2 seconds. Burying her was excruciatingly painful. Putting her body in the ground, it just felt so wrong, and then leaving her out there and coming inside, it's the most bizarre feeling, and I didn't like it. But it is what it is, and it's life, unfortunately, and she's in the garden that she loved to be in, and she's no longer in any pain. So for that, we're grateful, and she knew nothing but love her entire life, and she, you know, a lot of animals don't get that, and unfortunately a lot of animals pass away in more painful ways. She went through a lot in the last few weeks of her life, but she was very brave and strong, and we're so grateful to have had those 2 weeks at home with her. We didn't think we were going to have them when we brought her into the emergency hospital to have the surgery. We weren't sure whether we were ever going to bring her home, so we're very grateful for that. Anyway, I was going to talk about in this video my appointments that I've recently had. I saw the rheumatologist, an iridologist, a naturopath. I've had a few appointments in this last week, but I've just blabbered on for so long. I might have to film a separate video. Probably tomorrow I'll do that and let you know how those appointments went and what medications I'm on. Not medications, supplements. Good boy. You gonna say hello? You're such a good boy, aren't you, darling? Anyway, I wasn't at all expecting this to be a crying video. I thought I'd be able to hold myself together. Obviously not. I'll let you guys know more TTC related things in another video, which I'll upload very soon. I'm also planning on getting more fit and motivated and exercise more. I'm just going to do everything I can to try and get in the best possible health. I have a feeling that our issue may be egg quality related, so there's a lot of supplements that I've started taking, and I think exercising more often will perhaps help with that. It'll help me feel better anyway about myself, and anyway, I'll go into that in a bit more detail in another video. But thank you for all of your love, thoughts and prayers that we've received over these last couple of weeks. We really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. Love and baby dust to you all. Bye. Always on my mind and way out of my league. You were born to be on display, and I'm hard to read. I thought of you, hoping that the ripples would make you notice me. And now you're here, sunlight